Alrighty. Um, well, to start, my name is Kyler Garland, if you didn't know, Hook. And, this in video, I am just going to be talking a little bit about my story, what's been going on the past couple months, and just the past couple years. And the video is mainly for, like, the fans and to shed light on some of the rumors that the pros have been saying about me, which has been interesting to say the least. So this, yeah, we'll get into that later, but we're gonna start with how my team formed, Dallas Empire team formed, going into Modern Warfare. And really, it was realizing what I wanted in a team, and what I wanted was to get out of the cycle I was in. I noticed I was in this cycle back then whenever I was basically on teams where I felt like people didn't really care. And what I wanted at that time was a team where we could all mesh together and we would all want to be there. And basically, just like the hunger, you want hungry people with you you want to be around people who want to really be there. So, yeah, that was like my whole ideology with picking up Shotzzy and Illy, where at the time everyone thought I was crazy for picking them up because, I had options with like Octane and a whole bunch of other people that at the time, a lot of people would say, yeah, I was crazy for what I did. And, that led to us winning champs. And to talk about that whole year leading into champs is like how our team dynamic was. We had like lots of respect for each other. Me, Shotzzy, and Illy especially. If anything was ever wrong, we would communicate about it and talk about our indifferences and just work shit together. And yeah, like we had that trust and that foundation throughout the whole year where if they were ever feeling off with Krim or whoever, or Clay, whoever it was, if someone out of the game, I would come to them and we would have these talks and we would get through whatever issues we had. So we had a really good foundation. I truly believe that's like what brought us to that win in champs. Communication is everything whenever you're on a team and you want to, the biggest thing for me was I wanted to be a teammate for them that I never really had. That was like my whole thing that whole year. I was like, okay, I got these new kids. I'm going to be the best teammate I can be for them. And, it all worked out. And then, so now we are going into winning champs. And this is where I guess everything changed for me in a bit. I realized some things about myself. I won champs and basically, I've been feeling a little bit weird talking about this or like thinking about talking about this. It has been, but I feel like I have to, especially with everything that's been going on in the COD scene. Is it's not really a secret, but basically I won champs and I didn't really feel good on the inside. Of course, I was very grateful for winning. It showed that we worked hard and, we got the win. I felt good about that. But, those couple days afterwards, I didn't feel good. And it was mainly because of one thing. I, at the time, was taking Adderall. I first took Adderall when I was like 18, 19. And, yeah, I was like on and off for a bit. And, I realized basically that night what it was doing to me. This is very uncomfortable for me to talk about. But, yeah, basically it wasn't doing anything good for me. And I realized that night because I won that event with Adderall, and just the feeling afterwards was like, it wasn't that great. It wasn't that great of a feeling. And then, I was sitting there comparing it to when I first won, when I was 16 years old, when I was completely sober. And I still say it every single time. The time I won when I was 16 years old, it was a feeling that you can't even put in words. It was just like so much joy. And I was really proud of myself. I remember laying there that whole night, just sitting there, like when I was 16, just like, wow, that was a big moment for me. And I compared that. I was like, well, if I felt that good when I was 16, like, why can't I do it now? Like, I just won champs at 20 years old or 21, and it didn't feel the same. And, you know, started self-reflecting on myself. I started realizing how it was making me angry, how it was making me, mainly just anger. I was playing out of anger rather than joy. That was like the biggest realization. I was like, okay, like, you know, why I started playing the first game was because I love the game. I don't want to play out of anger. And I saw even what it was doing to my personality over time. Like, I was becoming more angry to the people I love, and even sometimes sad. And I didn't like that, honestly. And I want to change for myself. So, you know, that whole off season, that's what I focused on, is just really, you know, first it started with Adderall. You know, just completely cutting that out. And, you know, I started looking into like some other alternatives, and I got into like cold showers and all that. So that whole off season I was playing Black Ops 4, was committed to it. You know, the thoughts still lingered for the longest time, but over time it slowly, I started to build up that confidence again. I started to see that I could do it again, you know, sober, over time. And so, yeah. And then basically after that off season, just did nothing. And then going into the season, I started feeling really good. I started to look into other healthy alternatives. Like I already said, cold showers. I got into meditating. That really was like the big thing for me. I got into eating healthy. That started a little bit later, but you know, now even more so, like the natural energy levels, because I'm eating healthy, has been very, very, you know, nice, to say the least. You know, like seeing that I could have that energy level the same I did whenever I was on a literal amphetamine, by the way. Yeah, to see that I have more energy now off of that. But regardless of all that, yeah, was going into the season and just forming all those healthy habits. Over time, it clicked. And going into my first CDL match sober, in the first time in like 2 years, it was against Seattle. I remember it so vividly. That was like the match where the thought, like I said earlier, the thought was still like lingering about Adderall. And after that match, it completely like went away, because I saw that I could do it again. I remember going in after winning that match, going to Hashra and just like really being so proud of myself. I felt like I was a kid again. Like honestly, like I felt like I had that joy and kid love for the game again, and it was the best feeling like ever. I went into Hastro's office. I was telling him about it. I was like, yeah, I quit Adderall. Like I feel so good. I remember he even made like a tweet about it. He was like, watch out for Hoop this season, and you know, I was feeling amazing. And yeah, and then later that whole season, I felt so good. I was becoming more and more like, I was enjoying the game again. And I was genuinely I felt like I was being more like myself. I was happier. I was seeing lots of positive changes even outside my life. Like with my relationship and my family and just myself, discovering, you know, that I just feeling like a kid again, feeling good, you know, like that's what it's all about. Because and I was sitting there like, man, like who would have thought at 21 years old, like I could still feel like I'm 15 again. And to really feel that was amazing. It was truly amazing. I was really being like myself. And yeah, that whole season it showed. The whole stage one, I was doing my thing. I was feeling good. My communication was on point. Everything was good. And this is whenever things started to get a little bit weird down the road. So we lose in finals. This is just some little things. Just gonna keep it a buck. You know, I don't want to name anyone in this video. This video is simply for me to, you know, share my story. Not really trying to put out no negative emotions towards anyone. Yeah, teammate calls me, starts, you know, I didn't have the best finals, even though the match we won. You know, I was doing my thing. Yeah, I just didn't have the best finals. So someone on our team calls me, starts asking me a bunch of questions, and that's kind of where everything started. Was asking me like why I was, eating healthy or whatever it was, doing the things I was doing. And I was very understanding. I was like, okay, because my thing has always been is team over everything, teammates over everything. If I could help someone improve, I will choose that over me every single time. And this time it felt a little different. And I did that. And basically that whole season, not gonna lie, season 2, stage 2, overtime on Dallas Empire, it was getting a bit hard. I'm gonna go into this. So basically, how the team situation was for me personally, it could be different for them. This is just me personally. I started getting called out on a lot of things. Like one of the things was, I was too positive, and I understood that, and I took that. I was like, okay, maybe I am being too positive. Maybe I am doing this. Maybe I am doing this wrong. Maybe I am doing this wrong. And I started to believe a lot of the things I was getting told by my teammates and just the environment, and it really got to my head. My confidence started to get lower. And over time, I really started to second guess my gameplay from stage 1 to stage 2, and you could really see that difference change. It was like that. And then really, I'm not here to put any blame on anyone, but yeah, it was it was a not a good environment for me personally, especially through all the positive changes I was making, and then to kind of cut off all those positive changes and listen to everything so literally because I was trying to be a good teammate. And that's genuinely what it was about, is I was trying to be a good teammate. I was actually trying harder than ever before. And yes, it just got to my head. And some of the things people were saying to me just wasn't right. It didn't sit right with me at all. I don't really want to get too deep into that, but just getting slandered by your own teammates on a day-to-day basis over time, it didn't feel good. To what it seemed like to me is a lot of it was I was changing a lot as a person, and I can completely understand where they're coming from. So maybe it was weird for them, but for me it was I'm just enjoying the game again, and I kind of disconnected from just enjoying the game to trying to make everything better for everyone else, and I didn't really look out for myself. And it definitely wasn't a great environment for me, to be honest. So and then that goes to the night I get benched. I'm gonna go a little bit into this. This is gonna go more into what I'm gonna say later. Is so a week and a half before I get benched, I get a call randomly, and they're like, okay, or actually I found out from my brother, which is kind of crazy. I didn't even find out from my teammates, but my brother's like, yo, apparently you're about to get benched or something. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I've been trying to do everything or to make stuff work. And we have this talk. At this point, I was already kind of feeling the low confidence, and because just everything that was going on in practice, and I was trying to make things work. But regardless of that, basically, yeah, we have this team talk. So I reach out to my team. I'm like, yo, I'm here and I'm getting dropped or benched or whatever. What's going on? And we have a talk the next day, and it was very not cool to me because I was hearing out what they were saying, and I was like, okay, they were saying, okay, I'm making mistakes. And I was like, okay, I can completely see that. From stage 1 to stage 2, I was making mistakes, and I owned up to it. I was like, okay, I own up to my mistakes. Now, can you guys hear me out? I feel like I don't have a voice. I feel like you guys don't respect me. I feel like, blah, 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 blah. And basically, I was getting talked over, and everything I said, it seemed like it was not getting to them. I was owning up to my mistakes. And then it got to the point where I was just like, bro, why can't you guys hear me out? Blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, okay, well, I got to the point, I was like, okay, they don't trust me. I'm going to have to build up my trust. And they told me, just do the game plan and we'll be all right. I was like, okay. So that week, or a week and a half, I was like, this was my mindset was, okay, they don't trust me. I'm going to completely drop everything I know about the game. Not drop everything I know about the game, but I'm going to, maybe this wasn't the right approach. And I'm being completely honest. Like, this probably wasn't the right approach. I was like, okay, I'm going to just do everything they tell me. I'm going to listen to the game plan. I'm going to build my trust up so eventually I could start talking about game stuff, because that was my big thing. Is like I felt like I had no respect on the team that whole like prior couple weeks before that, where I said I was getting disrespected and stuff, to where I wasn't even confident enough to like speak my piece on the game. And because like every single time I did, I was just getting shut down and getting talked to like I didn't know how to play Call of Duty. That was my biggest thing, is I was getting talked to like I didn't know how to play, which is ridiculous. I've been playing for a while, but regardless of that, so that whole week, I'm going into it with that mindset that I already told you. I stuck to the game plan. I'm going to build up their trust. And, I felt like I was doing the game plan. Ray told me, I was putting in work. I was doing things that I've never done in my 8 years of competing. Since I was 14, almost 8 years of competing. I was writing down notes. Every single thing they told me, I wrote down. I was watching way more VOD than I ever had before. I was doing things that were very uncomfortable for me as a player, honestly, but I was doing it because I wanted to be there. I love those guys. We won champs together, and to be talked like that in a team that that I won champs with, it didn't sit right at all with me. And I didn't really, there wasn't many like talks between us like last year, and I didn't really, and I don't know if they felt there was something wrong or whatever. I'm not gonna get too much into that. I already got over it, but basically, yeah, that's like the moral of it. And then we win our first match. So I do all those uncomfortable things that I was talking about. We play Paris, we win 3-1. I was actually starting to feel motivated. I was like, okay, my work has like paid off. I was writing down notes, watching VODs. I stuck to the game plan. We win the match. Everyone seems like they were fine. I text the team later that day. I'm like, yo, like, who's trying to play? No one responds. And then, I get a call from Ray and Pastro, whatever, and they're like, you got benched. And we're going to announce it in 10 minutes. Not a single word from my teammates. Not a single word from anyone about anything I was doing wrong. Just benched, without a word. And, at that point, I kind of took it. I was like, all right, well, clearly I was not in a winning situation. The situation wasn't good for me. All right, I'm going to move on. That's kind of what my mindset was. I'm going to move on, that there's no winning in this situation. I did what I could. I tried. Something with them is not meshing with me anymore. I don't know what it is. Gotta move on. And it was hard because I won champs with those guys. I felt like we were a really good team, and we were like a unit. That's how we always were, like, especially last year. We were a unit. We had good communication throughout the whole year. And to really feel like I didn't get, like, for example, like, whenever, they were down last year, like Illy Ant, it's like, I saw that they were down, and I sat down and talked with them, and we had this communication. And it was like this year, maybe I was a bit down during stage 2, and no one really reached out to me. Actually, no one did reach out to me and try to lift me up or anything like that. If any, it's one of those things, like, to be a team, you don't want to like shit talk your own teammate. You want to lift them up, and that's how I look at it, and that's how it was last year. And it was the complete opposite. It was, I'm getting degraded, disrespected, and I don't know if they thought that was gonna help, but I told them it wasn't, and it didn't help, and that was it. That's all that happened with that team. For me, that's my side, and I feel like I have to let that out, especially leading towards about what I'm about to talk about. So now, moving on, 100T. The mindset I'm going into 100T is like, okay, fresh start. I'm gonna try my best to just let go of that shit. Definitely my confidence wasn't feeling it, but you know, it's time for me to prove that I could do it again, and all that, because, you know, I was actually super hungry going into Under T. And, you know, I felt like the first day we had some good conversations. I actually talked with the team about like some of the things that weren't working. I talked about the respect thing. You know, if you want to be on a team, you should have respect for each other, and trust in one another, and voice each other's opinions, to where all four people could talk without getting, you know, slandered. And that's like the kind of team dynamic that you want to be a part of, is a team where you're playing for not only you, for each other. And that team dynamic is hard to find, in my opinion. And so, you know, I had those talks with the guys. It seemed like we were on the same page on that point. You know, I was like, okay, well, if any of you guys have a problem with anything I do, please tell me. Like, because I was like, that was a problem on my last team. I was like, just talk to me. That was my biggest thing. I was like, if you have any problem, just please talk to me, because I believe that communication gets you through anything, especially in a team. You got to be able to talk to your teammates and form that relationship. I was finally feeling it. And that's what my whole tweet was. Like, I was happy. It was because I was like, yo, like, well, there's two parts to that. One of them was like, yeah, like, genuinely, I was starting to feel it again. And that makes me happy, because for me, it's always been about the love of the game. It's not about money or nothing like that. That was my whole purpose of everything. That's what everything has ever been for, is the love of the game, to play out of joy, and to play out of, you know, just the creativity of video games. That's how I look at gaming. Just me personally. And to feel that, just getting benched like that, I was like, fuck, man, like, what's next? And to later find out that night, I mean, they didn't give me a reason at first why I was benched. It was just I was benched, it wasn't working out. And later on, they gave me a reason. I don't really want to get too much into that, but regardless, yeah, this is what I want to talk about. This is what mainly the video is about, and just to give you guys some insight about me, I don't know. So later that night, I find out from a friend, one of my good friends in the community. He's a pro, not gonna name him. He's like, yo, there's this narrative on your name that's been happening, and, you know, people are, or one of your old teammates and even your new teammates bought into the story that you are on psychedelics and you need help, or something like that. And I was just like, where the fuck did that come from? And I was actually like pissed, because that's not right. For people to really believe that in the pro scene, and no one has said a single word to me about any of that in 2 months. That was my biggest thing. In 2 months. So apparently it was going on for a month or whatever. But no one said a word. Apparently, I don't know. No one said a single word to me. And all it really is because I was making positive changes in my life. Like, I don't do any of that. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I literally drink water, eat some fruits, drink some water, or all that. I don't do none of that. And no one said a single word to me. And I've known these guys for like 8 years or 6 years. So it's like, for no one to reach out to me and ask me if I'm okay, which, by the way, I'm okay. And to find out from my friend that people have been saying that, and, you know, they're at parties calling me Crazy Kyler. For that to be a thing, and for pros to actually believe that, I just want to like shed light on that. That's not true at all. I'm okay. I'm more than okay. I'm ready to play, actually. By the way, if anyone wants me, I'm here. Nah, I'm just playing. But yeah, to hear that, and it's fucked up, you know. And then I'm talking, and people are lying to me left and right. I text the person who started the rumor. He's lying to me left and right, or someone's lying to me, because I'm texting multiple people here, and they're at a party talking shit about me and starting rumors and all this type of stuff. And that was the whole narrative on my name. You know, I really feel like I have to speak up on that, because that's not right. That's, you know, I want to compete. If I'm gonna compete, you know, I just want to let people know I'm okay. Yeah, it's fucked up. And basically, moral of the story is, from what I learned throughout everything and throughout this whole last couple months, by the way, it's been 2 months, where everything like this has happened, how important it is to be a team. Be on a team who respects each other, because you don't want any, like, for example, I found out some of my teammates were buying into some of the rumors, some of the 100T guys, and they didn't speak up to me about it, but they somewhat believed it. And you can't be on a team where you have negative emotions or negative opinions about your own teammate and expect it to work. You want to be on a team where you guys respect each other, trust each other, and are going to work hard together throughout any problem. And communication, number one. And that's my biggest thing, is communication. How everything is in Call of Duty right now, it's like, everyone wants instant success. They don't want to be a team. And I'm being completely honest. I've been in the scene for so long. Like, this is kind of how it is. Everyone wants to be on a team where you get instant success and you don't want to work for progress or work for, like, the end result. It's like, okay, we're just going to pick up this guy and hope that we hit this honeymoon phase and we win. It's like, yeah, that might happen sometimes, but from what I learned winning champs last year was how important it is to be a team and have relationships with your team where you can communicate through any problem. That's it. That's all you really need. That, and you work hard and you work through the problems, you work through the struggle. That's all what it's about. And especially this year, you could see people are just getting dropped left and right. And for me personally, it's like I'm getting dropped with no word from any of my teammates. They're just dropping me. So it's like, what the hell is going on? Why aren't we trying to work for success rather than, just hoping it works out? That's my thing, is like, yeah. You don't want any negative emotions towards your own teammates. And if I'm going to keep playing, I just want to let that out there, because I want to be on a team where it's a good environment again. It's a healthier environment rather than, people. That's the thing in Call of Duty, is like, it's literally high school. I've witnessed it. That's one of the habits I got out of. I was talking about some healthy habits. Like, one of the things I realized whenever I was going through all these healthy changes with myself is, the toxicity in the pro scene and the toxicity in just gaming in general. Sometimes it could be tough as a competitor completely. And I hope this shines some light on, like, the mental health side of it, because honestly, yeah, it can be tough sometimes, especially whenever you're around, your friends or your people. And, like, this is some of the things that COD scene, I've witnessed it. You're in a call with a bunch of pros, everyone's chilling. You're chilling with a guy, then the guy leaves the call and you're instantly talking shit to him. And that's kind of how it felt like for me. It's like, I'm chilling, I'm doing my own thing, I'm practicing, and everyone's talking shit about me and I didn't even know. And it's like, these are the same people who call me my homies whenever I'm talking to them. And it's like, we got to do better than that. We're professionals. I'm grateful to be able to play my dream. This is my dream, like, to play video games. It always has been our dream. And I'm sure it's not any different for them, but we lost sight of that. It feels like truly feels like we lost sight of that as a whole, as a pro scene. Like, where, I'm sorry if I'm calling everyone out, but it's like, we got to do better. As, like, people, I understand we're competitors, but, like, why are we slandering each other for no reason? Why? It's not high school. We're professional. We're paid pros. We get to do this for a living. Let's focus on the game, focus on getting better, rather than, talking to other people outside of your team and listening to their opinions without talking to your teammate, Yeah. On that note, like I said, I don't really know what's next for me. On a positive note, I'm doing great. I'm excited for whatever's next. Like I said, if it's competing in Call of Duty, another game, wherever it is, I really am grateful for all the support throughout the years. I've never made a video like this. It might have been a little bit uncomfortable for me. I've never made a video, but it feels good to talk about all this, honestly. And yeah, hopefully, you know, things will work out for whatever's next. And thank you guys for always supporting, as I always say. Call of Duty, man. Call of Duty. And nah, yeah, just to end the video off, I wanted to go back a little bit on the Adderall subject and why I even took it in the first place. In the community as a COD pro, it could be, I mean, it could be a pressure thing. At least for me personally, it was like, you know, since this person's doing it and I wasn't doing that well at the time. That's the funny part is like generally what happens is you come into the league, or at least I see this with kids, they're doing fine, and then, you know, you don't do that well, and then you feel pressure to take it because the person winning, or whatever the case is, might be, who knows, and you feel that pressure from the outside. And I just want to show that you can play without it. Prove that to myself this year, and that was a big thing. And that was kind of, yeah, the reason why I took it too, is like the pressure. I wasn't doing well, and I was like, oh, like maybe I should have, blah, 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 blah. I got into it, and that's how I got into it. And yeah, I kind of proved to myself this year that you don't need it. This is just me. I'm not going to advise anything, but there are healthy alternatives, and there is better ways to go about things, and there is positive ways to, you know, help yourself, and compete, you know, probably better than ever. And that was one of the biggest realizations I realized earlier this year. I was like, yo, like, you know, we got to set a better, or I personally want to set a better example for the kids and the next generation of players coming up, because, you know, we're the first people. I want to set a positive example of, you know, you don't need to come into the Call of Duty scene and get cracked, because that's kind of how it is. And yeah, thank you. And whenever I start playing again, I appreciate everything, for real. And to end the video, I just want to say thank you. That's all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching.